What is going on, my Concise Conversation family? I hope you guys are all doing well today. Today I'm here with Nina. You can go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi guys, my name is Nina Lovecrow. I am a tattoo artist and I had the pleasure of working with him on some of his tattoos.
Yeah, definitely. So she's giving me actually a 7 chakras tattoo, which I'm definitely going to do a video about it because I would say it's the tattoo that has the most meaning to me already, just because a lot of my other tattoos, I feel like I didn't plan them out like that. I just like them because they look good. But I definitely say like this
so
one.
It was an aesthetic reason.
Exactly, definitely.
Okay.
But this is definitely the first one where I'm like, no, this has meaning. And even me explaining the chakras to you and everything, I can see it more in my life now. And I just love having it. So
well, I'm glad that I was part of that.
Thank you. I'm glad you were too. So today we're just going to talk about a few topics surrounding the tattoo industry, because it's definitely something that I don't have a lot of knowledge of, and talking to you, I think even our first session, I gained a lot of knowledge, so I thought this would be a great idea, you know?
All right, absolutely,
yeah,
I'm game.
For sure. So my first question is, obviously the tattoo industry is very male dominated, you would say? Yeah, so how was it for you navigating that world as a woman?
Definitely challenging. Yeah. Oh my God. I want to say that in my case, it wasn't as bad as other female tattoo artists that I work with. Mm-hmm. When I will hear their stories of how they started apprenticing, they were for me they were horror stories, because I wouldn't think I would have fathomed doing myself the things that they used to do.
Right.
I'm a very prideful person, so and even then, I swept and floors, and I changed the trash from the restrooms, because that's something that we do. Mm. A lot of people are like, oh, that's hazing, but the way that we got to see it is we had to learn how to properly clean and sterilize everything. So it is a process. It's not just coming with a rag and cleaning. Right. But with that being said, I also know that you can see that there's some sort of an elitist, style. It comes with it. Who am I to question years and years of tradition of where we are the ones that clean everything.
Yeah.
But it was those they were so subtle that they were hard to catch. Mm. It was the comments. One that stood out the most, I want to say, is oh, she's the princess. That's why she doesn't do certain things. Mm. And in my head, it's oh, I feel like I'm doing this and then some.
Right.
But again, it was those little subtle comments that would get me thinking is this something that I want to continue doing? Of course. So it comes with challenges. The reason why I stuck to this more is because even I'm a former nurse. Oh yeah. I'm a former nurse, guys. Yeah. Yes, the girl went to school and everything.
Educated.
I'm educated. I only have the face, but I was there. Swear to God.
Right.
But coming from a medical background, in a more disciplined background, you can say.
Definitely.
The transition wasn't hard. Mm. The transition wasn't hard because in the world of tattooing, it was, yes, you're going to struggle at first. I think any career choice that you guys take, anything, whether it be fixing cars or fixing the ACs of your pretty houses, all that, it requires training. It requires you to put those hands on to. And it's no different for tattoo artists. Like I said, even with a medical setting, it was less fulfilling for me because I didn't dispose of time to even spend with my kids. But it was a trade-off of all right, you have security here, and you know that at the end of the day, you're going to have a paycheck. Right. But it came with all this little baggage that like I said, to me at the end, I wish I would have just started tattooing from the beginning instead of playing it safe. Because that's what we're told. That's what we're told. You got to play safe. Yeah. I think, like I said, for me, this was a much better outcome because of the type of life that I have and my family. Everything I do is for them, obviously. Definitely. But it's even with them speaking with my children of how they were brought up into the life of a tattoo shop, because they were there with me as well.
It's a different experience.
Oh my God. It comes without stressing this of the way that they perceive people. It's so much different than the average teenager, you can say, or even young adults.
Yeah, definitely. And I think one thing going off of that, I feel like one thing that I have been thinking about a lot is like I want to follow something that I'm passionate about, and like even this YouTube channel, this podcast, whatever you want to call it, is like that's what I'm passionate about, and I understand that, like you're saying, like any field that you're going into, it's gonna come with its own struggles. I think those struggles should be for a reason that you're passionate about. Like that's what at least how I perceive it. But I do understand the other end of it, where it's like at times you do need stability, like you do need that paycheck coming in, and like it's trade-offs at the end of the day. But I do like love that you were able to follow that tattoo passion, because I think it's important.
No, I had my days that I wanted to say,
of course, like I'm out of here. Yeah,
like bye guys.
Yeah.
But to me, like I said, it was gonna be a struggle no matter where I was gonna go to work. At that time, my children were still small. It was hard to have this career, have a significant other, be a mom, and just try to keep it together. And that's just for a lot of people, like not necessarily just for women. I feel that it's more for us, by the way. But it's, you can be a single dad and still go through those same struggles.
Of course.
And that, like I said, to me, this whole transition between like a very executive environment to this, which is a more lax environment to work, it was, like I said, I had to, again, for lack of a better word, like I had to pick my poison. Right. Because like I said, it was an eye-opener for me to see how little this companies think of their employees. Care about you, yeah. They don't. They don't value, yeah. Oh my God, yeah. There's that part of they really don't care for the well-being of the employee. Right. And for me, that was again one of the top of the list. Because I make lists. I have my list. I have my bucket list too. But for me, it was that. It's like, okay, I'm still not spending time with my family. Right. I'm still not doing this. I'm unhappy doing this. I had to put the effort, the time to do and try to have a fulfilling career, and one that will make me feel more content, that it wasn't going to be a drag getting out in the morning and be like, oh my God, I have to go to work. Because a lot of us, we're like, fuck, it's Monday. It's Monday. Like, we got to go. And like, I don't think since I started tattooing, but yes, and of course, like, there's issues at work at any job environment. You're gonna have disagreements. Exactly. But I want to say that at least in this setting, when I had an issue with someone, it has always been easier to address it. Nice. Because the chain of command is like, what is the problem? Right. Can we talk about this? Exactly. And as opposed to in a corporate setting, it's like you have to file in a written down and then copy, this faxes, and then send this over. You're gonna have to wait 15 to 30 business days to get a response.
When it could really come down to one conversation, and then you clear it up and move on.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. So for me, it's like, okay, well, it's still gonna be like this no matter what. Might as well just jump into something that I'm gonna be content and I'm gonna be happy doing. And let's, why not say it? We're about customer service. Right. We want to keep our clients happy the same way that you want to keep yours happy. Of course. Anybody, again, any job rank comes down to customer service. Right. And I think how you treat people, and I think that like the tattoo industry, it's getting way better at that because we had such a horrible reputation. Yeah. But it's changing. It's changing. Even the way that new artists are coming up. Like I think I haven't seen or at least heard of these tattoo shops hazing people to be an apprentice. I think that it's an obsolete idea. They should definitely stop, guys. If you guys are doing this, you guys need to stop. Cut it. Like we're in 2022. Yeah. It's new time, man. Like we have to do better.
Forward. Yeah, definitely. We have to. And how long have you been in the tattoo industry for?
Professionally, 5 years. Okay. Going on 6 in June. Nice. June or July? No, June. Okay. Oh my God, I had to think about this. In June, I'm going to 6 years. Like I said, I have met really cool artists along the way. Nice. Very few females, actually. Like, very few females. Right. And when I have seen their work, it's killer work.
Top tier, top tier,
Like, they they really can compete against anyone, and like they will come on top.
Right.
Like, so for me, it's an artist, it's a female artist. I see this stuff and it brings me joy. Like, it brings joy to my heart, because again, it's different times. I come from a place where they, you know, or at least like a culture. Let me rephrase this.
Right.
I come from a culture where women are second-class citizens, and now it's refreshing to see how they're breaking ranks, and they're truck drivers now, and you're like, well, that doesn't, trust me, they make money. They make money, guys. So you see them coming with this, you know, careers, and like you said, like breaking that ceiling glass.
Definitely.
So for me, it's like, yay, I'm like super ultra feminine.
Yeah,
so
you should be. Go women, no, for real. So another thing that you know, interested me about your work was that I have a color tattoo, for those of you guys who don't know, and obviously, as you know, I'm darker skinned, as you can see. So like, that was definitely, I wanted this tattoo for like over a year now. But one thing is, like, I wanted it in color. Like, that's what I wanted for the tattoo. And I know that a lot of artists aren't comfortable doing that, which I totally understand. And that's why I would rather an artist be straight up with me rather than put something on my body that I didn't like, you know? But I do recognize that it's a harder skill. So I guess how was learning that skill and honing, like, mastering color tattoos on darker skin tones for you? And like, how was that experience for you, learning that skill?
Okay, I have a question for you.
Yeah, definitely. Go for it.
So what is something they would normally tell you? Like, you said that you were thinking about this for a year. And by the way, this is the way to get a tattoo, guys. If you're okay with this, and it continues to be an idea, and it's not one of those like spur of the moment, like, and I think about like the Hangover movies, like that guy that has the face tattoos. Like, oh my God, don't do that.
Right.
But if that's, you know, something that you're constantly thinking about, yes, and the tattoo is for you, because you're gonna get a lot of people. It's like, what if you change your mind?
Exactly.
If you're thinking about it a whole year after, it's for you.
No, for sure. No,
it's for you.
That's a good question. So, I guess a little shout out. So I use this app called Tattoo Do. Yeah. So basically, it's really cool. Like, I saw it and I was like, "What? This is so smart!" Like, you put in pictures of what you want, and they connect you with artists, or artists connect with you.
Like,
you know?
me.
Exactly. So like
this artist.
And so initially, like, someone hit me up, and I sent them the pictures just like I sent to you, and they recommended. They were like, "Oh, we would really recommend that you do this in black ink, because we think it will come out cleaner and like it will just look better on you." But for me, like, I've seen color tattoos on dark skin tones, you know, I know it's possible. I know it's a possibility. And if I want that tattoo in color, like, why should I settle, you know? And you charge cheaper than they did. And I was like, what the hell? Like, what? Like, you charging me cheaper and she can do it in color, you know?
I can do it in color.
Exactly, you know? So, like, that was just, like, I know that's possible. So, like, that's why I understand, like, maybe it's a harder skill sometimes, but I don't know. Like, what's your perspective?
My perspective. Okay, so I'm... shout out to that app, by the way. You can totally find me there. You can find me on NinaLovecrow.com. Just type in. I'm there. You're going to see my work.
I'll link it below.
But anyway, any social media platform, you can find my work there. I'm an artist that specializes in color, dark art, and fine line.
Nice.
A lot of the artists that I work with here, they specialize in black and gray. I want to say they can do color. Like, they all can do color.
Right.
But I'm one of the few that actually does that here.
Right.
Color has been easy for me because before tattooing, I was already painting. I was doing art for open houses.
Nice.
So color was what's easier. Like, the transition into color was not as hard.
Right.
It was rather learning how to not damage the skin. Now it came with like the technicalities, but not so much over the art part.
Right.
The thing with color, and this is why I asked, like, what would normally you would hear from tattoo artists when you would ask about color, is they're not comfortable doing it. And that's usually the equivalent of like, no, this is not my specialty. But what should follow after, because if you come to me and you tell me, I want a religious tattoo, it's not something that I can do it, but it's not something that I normally do. And if I don't feel comfortable delivering what you're asking, the part that follows for that is like, well, I cannot do it, but let me refer you to this person, because that's the way it should be, at least. Like, pay it forward.
It goes down to customer service at the end of the day too. It's like, you want to give your customer the best product, and if you can't do it, well, I know my friend can, and I'm gonna. And
then he's not. Like, for me, it's easier to just pass down the work to someone that is gonna deliver, that is gonna keep that client happy, even if they don't get tattooed by me at that moment. You might come back for a different tattoo. Me like, all right, well, I don't want this, but I want this.
And I can do that.
So first and most, that it has to be that. It has like, you cannot do it. Well, here it is. With dark skin, and I want to say that without exception, going on 6 years, that's a long time for me to say that without exception. I have yet to meet a person with dark skin that comes to me and they ask me for a color tattoo, and there's like, oh, they told me no because of my skin. That's an asshole move.
Right? I think so too. I'm like, I have skin
move.
like everyone else.
Don't say that.
Yeah.
You can say stuff like, it's not my specialty, or like, you can say, I don't feel comfortable. But like, to say to a client, like, because of your skin, that's an asshole move, guys. Don't do that.
Yeah.
It's bad form.
Of course.
It's bad form.
Right.
It's bad form. I have been honest with some clients. I think I have someone that was like darker. Like, okay, so they were so dark that their skin looked almost like with a tint of blue.
Okay, I see what you mean.
So, and I told him, I'm like, look, I'm not gonna lie to you. We could tattoo you, but it will not, like the same way with you. It's like, we could do this tattoo, but it will have to be done this way. Right. So you give the client an alternative. You don't go like, I don't want to, like, it's not, that's not it shouldn't, again, have to be that way. So, remember with that client, that particular client, I told him, like, look, I'm going to be real with you. It's not going to show the color that you want.
Right.
But we can try this. If you're okay with this, this is the outcome. The worst that could happen is this. But you go in making, as a client, you go in and to make an educated assessment. And overall, a decision, an educated decision. For, like I said, that's pretty much the only person that I ever had to be like, yo, maybe because of this. But everybody else that have come in, again, darker skin, I hear that. Even from my Latino people, I hear that too. Because we come in different colors too, right? So that I get to hear that too. And I always tell them, you can have a really good, expensive tattoo. But if you don't take care of it, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So I think that like the make it or break it comes a lot with that, of how you take care of that color tattoo. Color tattoos heals different. So those artists that they spoke to you, they were right. Like, it's not, of course, a black and gray tattoo is gonna come out cleaner, more solid. For posterity, they do last longer.
Yeah, it makes sense.
But the color tattoos, I mean, like I said, I like them. I'm biased and I like colors.
Me too. I love colors.
So it can be done, but it might take, a session extra than a normal black and gray. And even then, like you could have a black and gray tattoo, but if you don't take care of your tattoo, it's pointless. It's pointless. And overall, like, follow the instructions of the artist, because I cannot stress this enough of how many times I had clients that are like, oh, my friend told me to put so and so.
What did I tell you?
And I'm like, no, mijo, we're not doing that. Remember, like, that tech. And by the way, like, that's another thing. Follow up with your clients. I love that. Like, I know with yours, like, hey, do you need this, or what's up? Like, how is that healing? Because when you come back to us, I know again how your skin is gonna react for those tattoos. So, guys, do your research.
Do your research. No, definitely.
Like I said, it like tattooing on dark skin, it comes with its challenge, but if it's something that it absolutely cannot be done, always offer an alternative.
Yeah.
I want to say,
Yeah.
like I said, it can be done. It's gonna take a little bit of time and patience, and overall, like if you have the patience to sit through it, because not all parts are created equal, guys.
Yeah. My ribs, whoa.
Yeah. So like, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry for that. It happens. It happens. We try to come up with the best ways of clients to be comfortable.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't agree with some artists. They're like, I'm not gonna give you any numbing anything, and it's like, no, why?
Right.
Like the client is already gonna be through pain.
Right.
Why not make this a much better experience for the client than just like, you have to tough it up.
Right.
Like, no.
If you have the resources, like, why wouldn't you, right?
Why wouldn't you use it? Yeah.
Right. So, finally, I want to go into, so you have a podcast.
Yes, I do. We do have
Shout it out.
So my podcast, our podcast, it's a plural here. I have a podcast with my brother. His name is Goose. You can find him on Instagram at Donnie's. And the podcast, it covers a lot of different topics. Some are funny, some are not so funny. So the purpose of that podcast was to show everyone like the good, the bad, and the ugly of the tattoo industry. Because we have some stories that are more serious than others. But there's always like a good silver lining in between those. So we also have like the little baby sister of the podcast, which is Inkness, Lovecrow Inkness, and they're both Lovecrow Inkness. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on any podcast device that you guys have. You can find us on Spotify, Apple, iTunes, everywhere.
Nice.
I listen to Spotify. So like, I love Spotify.
There's only one right answer. Spotify.
Spotify. You can find us there.
Right.
So you guys can check out some of the episodes. We're gonna feature some of these clips.
Yeah.
But it talks about toxic work environments in the tattoo world, or what it is to be married to a tattoo artist.
Interesting.
Both sides, from a female perspective and a male perspective.
Right.
So you guys can start like seeing those differences of how much our industry has changed, even then from when we started the podcast to now.
Right.
There's some really good tips also for aftercare.
Nice.
For supplies that we use, brands.
Right.
We do brands too. So that's a cool way to just find out how our tattoo industry is.
Scenes, yeah, definitely.
Like I said, you get a kick out of the stories too.
Sure.
We have guests, and we have some other artists being guests there, so you're gonna get to hear a lot of and it's definitely not for kids. Guys, do not listen.
Not for kids.
Not for kids. Don't listen with kids, because we talk a lot of smack.
No, for sure. How has like having this podcast, YouTube channel, like added a different dynamic, I guess you could say, to your work? Like, oh
my god, yes. So when our podcast started, it started and like we mentioned before, if it's been on your head for an X amount of time, the podcast was a project that we had in mind for a little bit over 2 years.
Nice.
Little bit over 2 years, and it never came to be because work schedules. It was like traveling. It was hard at that time because we're not just sitting there. Like, I didn't know how much work YouTube and podcasting requires. I thought I was gonna be like here, just just recording, guys. No, it's not that. It's behind the scenes. It's a lot of work. Just editing the picture, the angles, all that stuff. It's just insane.
Yeah.
So it just we always put it on the back burner. So COVID hit.
Free time.
And I don't think that this happened just to me. I think it happened to a lot of people where they reconsider their life choices. I was no different than them.
Me too.
I was looking. At that time, I was living in Arizona, so COVID hit, and then everything shut down. And I was like, well, what am I gonna do here? There's no work. There's no So we ended up relocating to California.
Nice.
Love the weather. Love the weather.
Top tier.
Yes, you can find a hot dog at any time of the day. We came over here, and because all this, like, everything went into shutdown. We went into a lockdown for a long time. Nobody was going out. Social distancing was a thing. I use a mask just because I was already using it before it was trendy, guys.
Oh, okay.
So this is more out of habit, out of work habit. Like I said, I use it no matter what. Close contact, I'm tattooing you. Like,
that's smart.
So I wear my gloves, I wear aprons, I have everything, set up when I work. So it's like, well, now we got time. Now we can explore into jumping on the podcast. And the first episode, again, you guys can tell. Yeah. It's a trial and error thing. First step. But it was super fun.
Yeah, of course.
It was super fun to do this. The interviews. I'm sure that if you have your guests, like, they come up with some stuff, so like, should we edit this or not?
Definitely.
Should we take it out? Is this even PG? Is it considered PG? So for us, the guests were always fun to have. Like I said, the podcast came out with that idea of like, oh, well, let's show the shenanigans behind it. Because I think for me, as an artist, I got to see tattoo shows. We're not gonna name drop. We're just gonna say tattoo competition shows. Right. And you get to see all this drama. Like, it's drama. Reality TV. It's drama. Yeah. And I don't think I think the worst drama that we had in this shop is like, oh my God, we couldn't find the towels. That was the worst that could happen. So it was a very boring. We have a very boring sitcom here going, but it's not like that. I think like the podcast, to me, the idea came of, let's debunk those things. It's not. We already have such a bad reputation. I had my share moments of prejudice on the street, and like I said, I think we're in a time and age where all those things should just be non-existent. Like, the tolerance should be there. Awareness too. I have clients that they're doctors. I have clients that they're in government branches. Some questionable jobs, but whatever. You have everything. Right, you have everything, and having tattoos is not a symbol of status anymore. Definitely. And before, like, you will see a person with tattoos, like, oh, they're dirty, or oh, they're this, and now it's like, hey, he might be a chef. I don't know. He might be a doctor. You just never know now. You don't know. You never know now. So it came from that. It came up to like, all right, let's debunk this. Like, I know those shows doesn't help us. Right. But we really are family people. We really are like people that come in the morning, we do our jobs, and then you go home. We're done and we go. Right. And we go. And that podcast kind of like shows a glimpse of that. You can see more obviously on our YouTube channel, because that's where like all the shenanigans go. Check those out, man. Check them out, because right there you're gonna get to see what we do in between, or how we even prep for photo shoots. Tattoo artists have photo shoots. Right. We have interviews. We do all those stuff. It might not be on the scale of a Beyonce, but nonetheless you still have to do this and not be camera shy, which is something that we had to learn as well. My mentor, the person that trained me to be a tattoo artist, he told me once, if you cannot be in front of the camera, if you cannot stand someone seeing you tattoo, you have no business tattooing. Yeah. So all those things, they had to go. Like, they had to just be gone. And it pushed like that little fear out of me too. So it worked out. Definitely. It worked out. But guys, check out the podcast. Definitely. It's a funny podcast. Just don't listen to it with kids, and you guys are gonna be fine. No kids. I'm gonna put a no kids sign right here. But yeah, definitely guys, go check that out. Thank you, Nina, so much for doing this with me. Thank you for coming in and having that tattoo. Guys, check out his tattoo on my page at Nina_Lovecrow on Instagram or Facebook, whichever you want. Anything you want. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Concise Conversation. Have a good day. Bye, guys.